What's up everyone, Kaze no What If is here with What If a Soul was sent into One Piece verse. Before we start, if you like the video, like it, share with your friends, comment, and let's start the video. Clearly I don't own One Piece. I don't have the best fanfic either. What a sad life I lead. Warning and a bit of foreshadowing, this adventure isn't a straight path through One Piece. There's a bit of filler here and there, personal filler, not anime. Though I am doing 2 of the filler arcs. One more chapter until 100k. Make sure to favorite or follow, whichever one gives you notifications. I post on Sundays and vary 2 weeks, but the time varies. All y'all get is Sunday, no specific time. It'd be better to hear about it immediately instead of checking at random times. Responding to comments. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I kinda procrastinated a lot on this chapter and finished it last minute. Apologies if it's a bit sloppy. We had finally arrived at Kokoyashi village and Nami grabbed most of the money she hid in the village and immediately made her way to our long park. Kara and I chose to go to the village and wait. As Nami made it to the front gates of the park, a young boy came running towards her from behind. "Hey, you! Out of the way!" he shouted. Tears falling from his face. "I'm here to kill Arlong. Arlong killed my father." Nami smiled. "There's no possible way you can defeat him, I'll fight him myself." See. A spark appeared in her hands, leaving the boy mesmerized. "You're going to fight Arlong?" he asked. "Yeah." She bent down, rubbing his head. "Now run on home, give us some time, we'll beat him for sure." She gave him some money so he could survive the next time Arlong came to collect. The little boy nodded and ran off. Nami walked through the gates, walking up to Arlong's table. "Oh. You're back, Nami. That was a long trip. Well, how was your haul this time?" Arlong asked. Nami smiled. "I have more than enough." She dropped the bag in front of Arlong. 100 million berries, from pirates and marines alike. "Shahahaha. Who'd you steal from, that had that much money?" he asked. "Just your run-of-the-mill pirates. Don Krieg, Buggy the Clown, Marine Lieutenant Fullbody, and Axe Hand Morgan. As well as a pirate with a bounty higher than yours, Wraith Emperor J." Arlong looked surprised. "Any problems?" "Well, just one. The Wraith Emperor may or may not be on his way here. He can walk on water after all, and with his abilities it wouldn't be too hard to find me," Nami told him. "Shahahaha. That isn't a problem, that weakling Haki ran away leaving it all to us 3. Apparently he didn't like the way we treat people." Nami was confused. What does him running away have to do with there being no problems? Arlong pointed to Chuyu and Kurugi. "I trained these 2 until they reached a level close to my own. We no longer have a need for Haki." "Oh really? I'm surprised, I thought they'd remain weak forever," Nami stated. Chu was enraged. "What? Weak? You must have forgotten, out of all the Arlong pirates you're the weakest." "Ha ha ha ha." Nami laughed. "Right, I'm sorry. I forgot. Anyways, we got the cash, let's party." Arlong grinned. He was interested in this new version of Nami. What changed since he last saw her? "Alright boys. You heard her, our dear friend is back. Let's party," he shouted. Kara and I had just made it to the village when we came across 2 fishmen causing trouble. We quickly took care of them when a girl came out and greeted us. "Hi, who are you?" "My name is Nojiko." "My name is Jay, a friend of Nami's." "A real friend?" I told her. "Really? Come to my house, you can explain it to me there." Nojiko turned around, leading us to her house. "So what do you know about Nami?" "She joined my crew, we met in Shell's Town and she traveled with us as our navigator." However, at the Baratai she was reminded of Arlong. She took our ship and came back to fight him if he didn't let you guys go. I explained. So how did you guys find your way here if she stole your ship? Also, what do you mean fight him? He can't be beat, he's a monster. Nami wouldn't be so stupid. I activated my partial transformation, showing off an orb of darkness in my palm. She's a certified monster now. She ate a devil fruit. Similar to mine but lightning instead of darkness. Handling one of the fishmen should be easy. Nojiko considered it for a moment. How was she planning on beating him without your help if she's only strong enough to handle one? By dying repeatedly until she was strong enough to beat him, our fruits give us a certain number of deaths and our power increases with each one. That's likely what she was betting on. I explained. Nojiko had a thoughtful look on her face. How many of these fruits are there? Well, there's an infinite number of devil fruits, but the ones similar to ours are limited. There's only 4 that I know of so far, there's likely more of them. And it was this fruit that granted her that much power? Yep. I responded. The party had just ended at Arlong Park. Well then Nami, now that you brought me the last of the money, the village is free. Really? Nami asked, surprised. Yes, of course, unfortunately that only stands for your village. The rest of them will remain under my rule indefinitely. Shahahaha. Arlong laughed. Nami's eyes glowed orange. That wasn't the deal, Arlong. She grabbed the money and vanished from the park. Arlong's grin grew wider. It seems our pet learned some new tricks. Boys, get prepared, we're gonna take her out. Yeah. The other fishmen roared. Shahahaha. Chu, you head out first, bring me back Nami's head. Arlong ordered. Yes, Captain, right away. Chu jumped into the water and swam away. An orange flash came bursting through the door. Kara, Jay. I see you met my sister, you were right, Arlong didn't keep up his side of the deal. She dropped the bag full of treasure on the floor. There's a problem though, he trained his 2 lackeys after Haki left. That means it'll be a much harder fight. I waved it off. Oh, those 2, they're trouble but we can handle them. 47 and 50 respectively, we won't lose. At that moment shouting came from outside. A young boy, the one Nami met earlier, was running from a small group of fishmen screaming for help. Kara flashed out the door and incapacitated the fishman, permanently. I walked out placing my hand on the group of fishmen in turn. Shadow absorption. Their bodies faded to nothing, leaving behind no evidence, not even a drop of blood. Their physical existence disappeared completely. That's what losing your shadow did when exposed to the sun. We led the young boy inside. Alright, so why did your dumb ass decided to challenge death? I asked. You're a kid from Gosa, right? Nojiko followed. What are you doing challenging the fishmen? You already know what'll happen. You'll die and they'll kill off your family as well. They already killed my father. The boy yelled. All I wanted was revenge. Nami walked up to the boy, punched him, which sent him flying into the wall. You fucking dumbass, I told you I got this. I'll take care of Arlong. You go back home and play with some toys or do whatever boys nowadays do. Nami. Nojiko called, looking at her sister in bewilderment. What the hell? Nami shouted, as she saw the look in her sister's eyes. What are you looking at me like that for? Nami. Nojiko started. Haven't you realized how much you changed? You were never this brash before. Even while working for Arlong. Nami thought about it before realizing her point. Nami pointed at me. You can thank that asshole for the sudden change in attitude. Nojiko stared at me in horror. Huh? What the fuck did I do? I yelled defensively. The little boy scampered out the door, realizing this wasn't the place for him. Nojiko looked as if she understood. Why, you took her virginity then dumped her for this new girl? Didn't you? What? You? No. Nami denied quickly. I would never choose to give him of all people my virginity. If I had to choose someone from the crew, there's no way in hell it'd be Jay. He's a fucking asshole. I'd rather get with Usopp than him. Harsh. I whispered, though I wasn't all that offended. It was true after all. Nojiko applied more pressure to the conversation. So disregarding this Usopp guy, I'm guessing there's someone on the ship you like. Huh? And no, they're all just filthy pirates. She stuttered. There's no way I'd like one of them. I hummed from the sidelines. What about that kiss with Luffy back in Shell's town? Nami's face went red as she sent a bolt of lightning into my chest, causing me to fall out of my seat. You told him to do it? You never said you didn't like it? Kara teased. Nojiko wore a look of interest. Luffy. I heard that name somewhere. She went into another room before coming back out with a poster. That's this cute little guy right here, right? She held up the poster showing Luffy with a bounty of 45 million earlier and higher than in the original. Nami was shook. What the hell did he do now? 2 days ago. Luffy had just left the Baratai, leaving a bit later than in canon. Unfortunately he ran into trouble, Full Body had returned with reinforcements. Captain Nezumi walked to the railings of the ship. We meet again, Straw Hat. I have to admit I was a little weary of seeing the Wraith Emperor again. Unfortunately he's caught up with Arlong at the moment, that being the case all I have to deal with is a weakened Zoro and 2 children. He said, pointing at Usopp and Kaya. Hey. Are you forgetting about me? Gears asked. Who are you? Nezumi said, confused. Yes, of course, he knows the weakling sniper and his girlfriend, no offense Usopp. None taken. Usopp whispered. And yet he doesn't know about the greatest wielder of the Crimson Glaives. Gears finished. Zoro scoffed. You only have that title because you're the only wielder left. What was that, weakling? Gears asked, a red aura falling from her form. Says the woman whose only real personality trait is being the daughter of a legendary swordsman. Zoro teased. Last I checked that legendary swordsman beat your ass with what equates to a butter knife. Gears mocked. Yeah, while you sat on the sidelines talking shit. Zoro countered. You wanna go, weakling? Gears asked. Zoro got to his feet, his torso beginning to bleed. Anytime, you useless want to be. Kaya shot up, tripping Zoro, sending him back to the floor. You're not fighting for a very long time, sit down and wait till you're healed. Otherwise there might be a bullet or 2 in your skull, understand? The death glare she gave him caused him to sweat a little. He tried to call her bluff. You wouldn't kill me for something like that. She stepped on his chest, sending a blast of pain through his body. Want to try me? Usopp watched the whole thing in admiration. Kaya already had more courage than him. He'd have to step his game up. Zoro coughed up a mouthful of blood. Fine, I won't fight until I'm healed. Now can you remove your foot from my chest? Kaya smiled. Good. Usopp wasn't the only one admiring the situation. Ah, Kaya-san is so beautiful when she's threatening someone. Sanji swooned. Too bad she's with that useless sniper. He whispered. Hey. I heard that. Usopp shouted. Sanji began to whistle as Gears burst out laughing at Zoro's situation. Ha 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 ha. Put in your place by a rich girl. Tears fell from her eyes as she continued laughing until Kaya shot her with the same glare. She quickly changed the subject. Right, let's not forget about the Marines. Yeah, let's not forget about the Marines. Nezumi echoed. Now then we're gonna need you to come with us, or else we'll sink that small little ship. Luffy looked at the crew, two thoughts running through his mind. Either we fight them and I die now, or we go with them. I get a free meal and we beat all of them up later. The crew was completely unaware of this transaction in his mind, so they were shocked when he rocketed over to their ship. Alright, come on guys, next stop the marine place. Sanji and the others immediately hopped on the marine ship, completely trusting their captain despite the shock. The only ones who didn't move were Zoro and Kiers. When Kaya asked Zoro why he wasn't moving, he smirked. I thought you told me not to move, you're gonna have to carry me to that ship. He laughed. That's what you said, wasn't? Kaya shot a bullet next to Zoro's head, piercing the wood of the railing he was leaning against. Get up right now, I promise the next one won't miss. You are so lucky I can't handle you with my current injuries. Zoro growled. Try threatening me when I'm fully healed and I'm gonna hold you to it. Slice a single hair on her head and you're gonna have to deal with me. Sanji shouted. Usopp walked up to him and hit him in the head. Kaya can handle herself. Though the words came out steadily, he was currently very afraid. A full kick from Sanji would knock him unconscious. Luffy began laughing. Come on guys, hurry up. They might have meat at the base. Zoro still wasn't in the mood to get up. I guess if Zoro doesn't go, I'll just drink up all the booze on my own. Sanji teased. Immediately Zoro appeared on the ship, using speed that defied the laws of the East Blue. Alright, let's go. Kiers was still standing there confused. Why are we leaving instead of fighting? I wanna fight, I haven't gotten the chance to show off my skills yet. Kaya giggled. That doesn't matter, we can't fight on the water like Jay and Kara. I'd prefer not to have any ships sink, I don't want to swim to Kokoyasi village. Especially with Luffy as baggage. Kiers seemed to accept that as she got on the marine ship. The Marines moved in to put them in handcuffs. Unfortunately they didn't have any sea stone models, but they didn't think it'd be a problem. All Luffy could do was stretch, not gonna help him too much. Or so they thought. Once they made it to the marine base, the nicer Marines offered them some food and booze while the paperwork was filed. Unfortunately no one in the group had a bounty, because of that they couldn't yet be arrested. Nezumi walked around sizing them up, he settled at 10 million for Usopp and Kiers. Not enough information on her skills. Kaya got a bounty of 15 million, for carrying the fight against Pearl. Sanji wasn't given a bounty due to the fact that the camera wouldn't accurately capture his face. Light kept interfering in some way, like the work of the gods. Zoro gained a bounty of 25 million and Luffy the standard 30 million. Right as the pirates finished their meals and booze to the point that the Marines were left with nothing, they broke the chains and began to walk out. That's when Full Body walked in shouting about how they can't just leave. A short fight and a decimated marine base later, the crew acquired a marine vessel and set sail towards Kokoyasi once more. Luffy smiled. That was some good meat. The crew nodded, not realizing that by doing that Luffy's bounty had increased again. Johnny is just there in the background observing, he's still guiding them to Kokoyasi. So you mean to tell me he raided a marine base and took out all the officers for interrupting his crew during a fight? I asked just to double check. Yeah, that's what the papers said when they gave out the bounties. Apparently he took 10 million worth of berries as well as all the booze and food. Nojiko explained. Kara giggled. Hey Jay, how much you wanna bet he let them take him to the base to get a free meal, and when he was done he left? I began to laugh as well. Zoro probably grabbed all the booze himself despite the injury. Yeah, and the fact they tried to leave angered the Marines. They tried to fight and failed. Nami finished. Sounds like Luffy to me. I confirmed. Maybe. Nojiko whispered before addressing Nami. So this little cutie of a captain is the one you're so interested in? Nami's face turned bright red, her lightning following suit. What? No. I thought I said I wasn't interested in anyone. She shouted. Nojiko gave the poster a sultry look. Then, you wouldn't mind if I had a taste? She asked. The aura of Nami's lighting grew more intense. No, I wouldn't. Go right ahead. The crooked smile on her face did nothing to disguise her feelings on the matter. Nojiko burst out laughing. I was only kidding, I'm not interested in children. I'm 3 years too old for him, besides there's another guy I'm interested in. Nami took on a look of surprise. Who would that be? No one in this entire village is that attractive. Nojiko's grin grew wider. Well, actually about half a year ago a man came to the village. He was accompanied by a very beautiful girl and was looking for someone. When he noticed the danger the town was in, he simply laughed. He said he'd have someone come by in half a year to take care of it. Nojiko explained. And this is the guy you're interested in? Nami asked. No, not him. The guy was a bounty hunter looking to start his crew. It was one of the bounty posters that got me interested. That's why I began to collect them, to see if I would see his face again. She told her. Nami judged her immediately. So you're interested in a pirate of all things? His smile was genuine, he wasn't all that bad. Besides, you're one to talk. Nojiko countered. Nami sighed. Who is this guy anyway? I don't know, I only ever saw his face. That's why I'm collecting posters, I want to find him again. Nojiko explained. Nami face-palmed. Of course. Nojiko yawned. We're getting off topic, you still haven't explained why you changed so much. Well, like I said, it's his fault. Nami pointed at me. Yeah, and like I said. What the fuck did I do? I asked. Nami shrugged. Your way of talking rubbed off on me, also this fruit that I accidentally ate messed with my head a little. Nojiko nodded. What exactly does that all mean? It means that I did lose one of my first. Nami explained. Nojiko gasped again, all the many possibilities rushing through her head. However, Nami shut it down with what she said next. I've killed many people. Even those that have surrendered and stopped fighting. It's limited only to enemy pirates, but either way I took another life. She explained. That's not all, I've already died once. As Jay probably told you, we come back after death. However, what we didn't tell you was the influence it had on your mind. If you're not careful, these deaths can drive you insane. Kara nodded. It happened to me, but that's because I was all alone. It won't happen to Nami, us wraiths have a connection. We're destined to come across each other, no matter what, she'll be fine with us. Nami was confused. Wait, I don't have a connection like you two, I can't hear your thoughts? How come you guys have a connection and I don't? Maybe because we spent 2 years together, or maybe it's the model of the fruit. Heaven and hell have always had a connection. I explained. Nojiko saw another fun toy to play with. Or maybe it's the love you have for each other that built that connection. What she didn't count on was the fact that the emotions Kara and I had, have been slowly diminishing over time. As of now we couldn't feel love, attraction maybe, but not love. There's no love in this relationship, not now. Karagari agreed. This journey of ours isn't a game, we're partners for sure. However, we're strictly business. No time for love. Nojiko smiled. Maybe you two can't see it, but there's a connection there. Much deeper than that of business, it'll take time, but you'll find yourselves falling in love eventually. I sighed. Maybe, but for now, Kara, can you take care of the nuisance that just entered the village? Right away. She vanished out of the room and stood face to face with Chu. Have you come to die? I'm really in the mood for a good fight, I haven't had one since Buggy's lackey. Chu began to laugh. What is it with women thinking they can stand up to fishmen all of a sudden, Chu? I was expecting Nami, maybe Wraith Emperor if he showed up early, but all I got was a young woman, Chu. Oh well, I guess I'll kill you quickly before wiping out this village, Chu. Kara yawned. This guy's voice is annoying. Hopefully, he's actually a challenge. Enhanced Chu vs. Karagari. You're gonna have to try harder than that. Karagari laughed as a large blast of water was sliced in half. Karagari was rapidly dodging and cutting through all the water bullets flying at her. No matter how much Chu threw at her, she wasn't getting hit. Jay was laughing on the sidelines, telling Kara that she better be able to handle the weakling on her own. Karagari was trying to get closer, but unfortunately his rapid-fire bullets kept her back. She slashed out, cutting through another blast of water. Chu started firing faster, seemingly not even trying to hit her. Karagari stood still with a confused look on her face. You're not even getting close, your aim can't be that bad. Chu smirked. I wasn't trying to hit you, Chu. Karagari turned around to see several water droplets suspended in the air. This is the new move I created with my increased skill, Chu, bullet barrage. He shouted as he clenched his fist, causing the bullets to close in on Kara from all directions. Ain't no way this guy recreated the Hell Zone grenade with water. I thought aloud. Kara gathered up the surrounding light before thrusting out her hands. Disperse. All the bullets were blown away, some heading back at Chu, cutting him where they grazed his skin. How Chu. That attack was unstoppable, not even Arlong could get away unscathed, Chu stated. Kara smirked. You're an idiot, Arlong is a fish transferred into a pond. He doesn't remember the vastness of the ocean. There are devil fruits and abilities out there, that would make what you do look like child's play. So are you ready to fight, or will you retreat like a coward? I won't be called a coward by a human like you. Chu pelted her with a stronger barrage of bullets. This human is currently kicking your ass. You have no skill. Kara danced around the bullets before gathering the surrounding light once more to blow them back. Disperse, I can keep this up all day, you know. Ha! Humans like you wouldn't understand, we always win in the end. Chu shouted as he sent out even more bullets. Is that so? At least us humans wouldn't be dumb enough to use the same moves over and over again. She dispersed the attacks again. She was quickly getting tired of this predictable fight. You're one to talk, Chu. All you've done is blow my attacks away and dodge. How about you try attacking for once? Chu countered. Question, does my impression of Chu sound too intelligent? I feel like I can't capture his character all too well, that goes for everyone actually. It seems like it's working. Kara smirked. Why would I change up a fighting style that is so beautifully countering your own? Maybe you should come with something more interesting. What you have now will never be enough. Fine, Chu. I'll show you the true results of my training with the others. Chu began to breathe in heavily as a huge bubble of water formed at his lips. The bubble began to compress rapidly and take the form of a spike. Eventually the water froze over, creating a spear made of ice. Icy spear, my new technique. Now I'll be able to keep up in close range fights, Chu. This sent Karagari's thoughts into a spiral. So instead of creating multiple icicles to send at me that I can't block, he decides to create a spear and fight me in my strong suit. Wait a minute, how the hell can he turn his water to ice anyways? That's not a fishman ability, maybe a devil fruit? No, as a fishman not being able to swim would be obvious. During this whole exchange Kara was subconsciously dodging all the spear attacks. There's no way that's normal, maybe a cooling system in his mouth? Kara soon came to a conclusion. Ah, that's it? There's no reason for this shit, this only happened because Kojika or some other random bitch wanted it to happen. Hey. Stop mumbling, Chu, and fight back. Chu shouted. Kara closed her eyes and fell deeper into thought. She activated her wraith world. She ignored everything around her, and entered a state of peace. All right, now I can think, how should I finish this fight? He more or less crippled himself by getting so close. Maybe I'll take off his head. Nah, that's boring, maybe I won't kill him. Yet it'd be better to let him come back stronger. Then again, a weakling like this won't amount to much. Wait a minute, am I still fighting? A stab of pain impacted her left arm. As she opened her eyes, she saw a smiling Chu. I finally managed to hit her. He breathed out excitedly. Kara sheathed her blade before knocking him back, sending him flying across the village into the well in the center. At that moment a voice could be heard from the AirPod in her ear. Hey Kara. Do you know where Jay's at? Damn it Kojika, I'm kinda in the middle of a fight. Karagari shouted. Who's the guy you're fighting? Kojika asked. Kara took a moment to remember his name, only figuring it out because it was part of his annoying dialect. The guy's name is Chu, wouldn't you know that? You're a god after all. God. Kojika remarked. You finally admitted, no more god complex? Maybe you're coming around after all. Anyways, no, I don't pay attention to irrelevance. I gotta say though, a fruit appearing in Impel Down and being eaten by a level 5 prisoner is pretty interesting. His name is Sheol, I wonder what he'll do with a fruit like that. Kara began to grow impatient. She didn't like to hear about random people halfway across the world. Yeah, I don't care, anyways can you tell me what you're here for? You only show up when you have some information for us, so would you mind telling me before that fish resurfaces? Oh yes of course, anyways what I was going to tell you is, hey wait a minute. Where's Jay? Kojika asked. He needs to be here for this. It was at that moment that I entered the conversation. What the hell do you want now, Kojika? I was about to take a nap. That fight was getting boring when he pulled out the spear and Kara kept dodging. I mean yeah, it's a nice tactic, but the guy never used a spear in his life. What made him think he could take on anyone who has? Honestly, that spear was random as hell, was more of a why not situation. Like I said, the story follows my whims. I swear, the laziness of this guy. At least Jason takes my advice and tries to help, though he could learn to tease me a little less. Kojika mumbled. Anyways, Jason has released something that honestly should have been part of this world earlier with all the technological advances. I got up and listened closer. So Jason really is here? For a moment I was starting to doubt you. What did he do? Finally showing some real interest. Kojika said proudly. He created phones, he used his own phone and with the help of Vegapunk he mass-produced something similar. He helped create these phones as well as television. The snails are slowly being released back into the wild. Okay, but why are you telling us this? Kara asked. Kojika sighed. They're going to be released into the East Blue shortly, it was only in the Grand Line until now. The only difference is that these phones have to be charged unlike the ones you guys have. Also any Earth-related advances, they don't have those. Though somehow a new form of YouTube was created, it's called C-Tube. I added it to your phones already, anyway bye. Kojika's voice faded away leaving Kara and I in a different state of mind. Okay, so now there are actual phones and a way to broadcast without snails. Why do I feel like this might make life harder? Kara asked. Oh no, this will make things much more fun. C-Tube, here I come. I shouted triumphantly. How's your fight going, Kara? I'm not sure, he hasn't resurfaced from the water yet, hold on. Kara walked over to the well and looked inside. Chu was knocked unconscious. Never mind, I guess the fight is over after all, I'll head back inside now. Yeah, if Dragon Ball can have God Tube then One Piece can have C-Tube. We all know if the pacifista can be created, so can phones. Nami vs Arlong. Hey Nami, can you guess who just showed up? I asked her. Huh? What are you talking about? Luffy finally made it to the island, Johnny is leading them here. They should be here in about 3, 2, 1. Nami. Are you here? Where are you? We finally made it? Luffy shouted. I opened the door to Nojiko's house and waved to the others. We're right here, Luffy. Sorry the fight isn't over yet, it's taking a bit longer than expected. Luffy came flying at me with a hug of which I dodged. Hey. Why'd you dodge? I laughed. Sorry Captain, I ain't the hugging type. You seem to have no problem hugging me. Kuragari countered. I'm just doing that to fuck with you. I told her. At that moment Genzo joined the conversation. Nami, I heard from the villagers that you and your friends are gonna take care of Arlong. Is that true? I took a step forward. It's all true, we gotta take care of Arlong so we can keep our new navigator. Don't worry, we got it. Genzo nodded. You're popular in the East Blue, if it's you guys, I'm sure you can win. Is there any way us villagers can help? I smiled. Just come by and watch the destruction of Arlong Park, can y'all do that? Later at Arlong Park. As we walked through the front gates, Nami shouted, Arlong. Arlong grinned menacingly. Nami. Great timing, I was just about to send Kurubi out. Don't tell me Chu got lost. Kuragari threw the unconscious body of Chu forward as Nami kept talking. I came here to kill you. To kill me. Shahahaha. In the 8 years you've been with me, how many times have you tried to kill me? You've tried assassination, poisoning, you even tried to kill me while I was asleep. The laughter grew louder. You never succeeded, shouldn't you know by now that an inferior being such as yourself could never kill me? Are you done talking? Nami asked impatiently. You think eating a devil fruit is gonna make you strong enough to beat me? Well, you're wrong, no devil fruit could do that. Listen, I'm not gonna kill you, I'll leave you in your room making maps forever. I'm planning to kill everyone else, your village will be spared but... Nami sighed. Can you shut up, I'm starting to wonder why I was ever scared of you. Guys, do you think you can hold Kurubi and the others back while I deal with Arlong? Luffy smiled. Of course, if you need help just ask. Okay. Nami yelled as she ran at Arlong with lightning coursing through her palms. Lightning palm. Arlong, underestimating her strength, decided to let her first attack hit. The second her palms hit his chest, he was sent flying. All that power from a devil fruit? Arlong whispered, shocked. Spark poured. She teleported above him before discharging more energy. Proximity shock. Arlong was sent crashing into the ground. Did you think that'd be enough to take me down? I'll admit you have more power, but that'll never be enough to take me down. Your entire race is insignificant. After I kill you, I'll take out the Wraith Emperor and prove once more that I'm the strongest in the East Blue. Huh. If you can't even handle a few blasts like those, you're gonna have a hard time beating Jay. Even after beating Jay, he isn't the strongest in the crew, you can't beat all of us. I mean, look around, other than Kurubi all of your crewmates are unconscious. Arlong looked around, seeing that what she said was true. His anger grew. The seething rage that I feel after seeing my beloved brethren be crushed by you pathetic insects. If you insects are truly above fighting me all at once, then I'll take you out one by one. Hey Jay, do you think Nami can win? Luffy asked. Yeah, with enough determination she'll come out on top in the end, hopefully. I told him. Let me ask you again, Nami, do you know what the difference between us is? Arlong asked her. Let me guess. Is it your weird-looking nose, the webbed hands, or the fact that you're a pathetic excuse for a captain? Nami mocked. No, it's our race. Arlong shouted as he rushed at Nami in a stabbing motion with his nose. Nami dodged to the side. Arlong went for a bite. As Nami ducked, he grabbed her by the neck before slamming her into a pillar. She charged lightning through her hand and touched his back. As he went for another bite, she used a spark port appearing behind him and used electrocute to send his teeth deeper into the pillar. Ha! Nami smirked. How do you like the taste of stone? Arlong bit down harder, crushing the pillar in his teeth. You still don't seem to understand. This is the power that we fishmen are born with. A power that the heavens did not bestow upon you useless insects. You need a fruit to keep up with my power. We're on completely different levels from the moment of birth. So what? All you ever do is spew this bullshit day in and day out. I gotta say, this fruit is worth so much more than the treasure I lost to obtain it. I'll show you what it can do. I don't need to be born a fishman to beat you. Such frivolous objections. Arlong growled. You humans truly are a weak and pathetic race. What can you do? You can't breathe underwater. Because of that fruit you can't even swim. Nami dashed forward. Enough with that cocky attitude. High voltage. She punched Arlong square in the face, breaking his teeth and sending him to the ground in pain. Gwa! Arlong yelled. You fucking incompetent bitch, all you can do is make maps. Nothing else. And you call yourself a pirate? Maybe back then, but now I have another skill to add to my list. Fish training. I'll teach you to respect humans, by beating it into you. Arlong flexed, his teeth growing back immediately. Enough babbling, you pathetic human. As you know, I'm a shark. No matter how many times my teeth break, they'll grow back. Arlong pulled out his teeth until he held them in each hand. He dashed at Nami, tooth gum. Nami jumped back, trying to stay out of the range of Arlong's teeth. Shahahaha. Keep running, I'll catch you eventually. Tooth gum. Nami ducked and dodged around the attacks before she got an idea. She elbowed his hand, causing him to drop a set of teeth, and fall to the floor. Nami picked up the teeth in one hand and let electricity course through it. Now I have fangs too. Nami said mockingly with the teeth in her right hand. You're good, Nami. After I beat you unconscious, I'll let you continue to serve me. You got more power than most of the crew. However, all that power will never be enough to beat a true fishman. Arlong boasted. The two fought for a bit longer until eventually Arlong finally got a bite in on Nami's shoulder, tearing through the tattoo of his crew. Thunderfang. Thank Pokemon, Nami shouted as she used Arlong's teeth to bite into his neck. Never thought I'd see the day, you're actually losing. Nami giggled. This only succeeded in pissing Arlong off even more. Arlong rushed in for another bite, but Nami caught him on her glaive and slammed him into the ground. Right as she was about to stab him to finish the job, he slithered away and fell into the water. Seeing this, Nami smirked. Maybe Arlong wasn't so smart after all. She walked up to the water, dipping her hands in. Electrical current. She shouted. Lighting coursed through the entire pool, shocking Arlong but not hindering him. Shark on darts. Arlong shouted. He shot out from the water, piercing the building as Nami narrowly dodged. He jumped past her back into the water and set up again. Shark on darts. Nami charged the lighting through her body, letting it layer over her skin. Lighting counter. The moment his nose neared her skin, he got blasted back. Spark port. She appeared above him with lighting coursing in her palms. Lighting palm. He flew into the floor, coughing up blood. Is that all you got? Nami asked. A feral look appeared in Arlong's eyes. These were eyes that Nami had never seen before. He grabbed her by the shirt and lifted her into the sky. How dare an inferior human do this? He threw her into the building wall. To me, a fishman? The breath was knocked from Nami's lungs as Arlong rushed in for another attack. She barely dodged out of the way as Arlong's hand went through the wall. From inside he pulled out a blade, one Nami recognized. The kiribati, she said, surprised. Okay, so maybe taunting him so much wasn't a good idea. She reassembled her glaive and settled into a stance. Nami ducked under a wide swing and jumped back, retreating into the building. She may have hated Arlong, but he certainly did have a lot of gold statues that could be sold for quite a lot. With the way he taxed the villagers, he should have a vault room as well. She might be able to make quite a fortune here. Arlong was attacking relentlessly. The two climbed the building, destroying it in the process. I was going from room to room, taking all the valuable items I could find. It was likely something that was destroyed in the original, similar to Krieg's treasure. The straw hats were making it rich this time around. Nami was thrown into a room, filled with books and paper as well as a bloodied pen. "It's my room," she whispered. "It's about time you die, stupid thunder bitch." Arlong snarled. "Is this truly all you needed me for, making maps for you?" Nami asked angrily. "You should know that by now. You spent 8 years making these maps. I never needed you for anything else. I may not like you, but you truly are a genius. Even if I searched the whole world, I wouldn't find anyone like you. I'll give you one more chance, join or die. I'll use you to perfection. A useless insect like you needs the guidance of a fishman." Nami smirked. "You think you can use me to further yourself? I've joined Luffy's crew. Nothing you say will change that." Proximity shock. Within seconds the whole room was charred. "This room no longer has anything to do with me. Sorry Arlong, but those 8 long years have gone to waste. I'm not a friend of yours. I've always hated you." "What the hell did you just do?" Arlong shouted. "You spent all that time drawing these maps. Why would you destroy them?" "As long as these maps are destroyed, there's no evidence of what I did these past few years. The tattoo was torn away. There's nothing tying me to your crew. I'm happy Hachin left early. He was the nicest out of all you assholes." Nami charged up as much electricity as she could, making sure to save some so she could live. "By Arlong, maybe you'll survive." Thunder Dragon. From the outside a giant dragon appeared over the building before striking down, vaporizing the entire building. Nami stepped out from the rubble with the unconscious body of Arlong. "Luffy," she shouted. "My spot is still open, right?" "Yep." Luffy smiled. At that moment an unconscious Kuribi and Chu awoke. Kuribi had been defeated by a bored Kiers and was taken out fairly quickly. I walked up to the two and placed my hand on their head. Within seconds their screams could be heard. Luffy and the rest of the crew smiled on until Genzo tapped Luffy on the shoulder. The second Luffy saw the look in his eyes, he snapped out of it. The darkness that surrounded his figure had disappeared. As he looked around he saw that same darkness tethered to his crewmates outside of Kara. It was all connected to one person. Jay. He didn't know what happened to him over the past week, but he knew that before he would have never condoned senseless killing like this. "Jay. You need to stop," Luffy shouted. I glanced at Luffy confused. "Huh, what are you talking about?" I asked him. "You can't kill them. You never stopped me before. What's wrong with killing them?" "I didn't become a pirate to kill. I'm on an adventure to become Pirate King. If you're gonna take this path, Luffy, then there's going to be some sacrifice. Sacrifice is acceptable, but this is just killing for fun. If we don't kill them they might come back stronger." Zoro chimed in. Luffy and I glared at him, a look that told him to stay out of it. At that moment Momo showed up late to the fight, but seeing the situation unfold he knew not to interfere. "This isn't you, Jay. You weren't like this when we met on Alvida's ship." Your personality is changing more towards what Karaz was back then. So what, I shouldn't kill those who threaten the crew? I asked. They're not fighting back anymore, this is torture. If you know me as well as you think you do, then you know I would never allow this. You're a good person usually, but you seem to want people to fear you. I knew what happened at the Baratai was weird, but I didn't know why. If you're gonna keep killing, then I'll have to take you down. Luffy threatened. I dropped the bodies of Kurubi and Chu, who were unconscious, once more. You're more than welcome to try, don't think this fight will be easy. You won't be too hard to beat, I beat Krieg after all. Luffy said cockily. True, but I'm stronger than that weakling. I smirked. Come at me whenever, I haven't had such a good matchup in a while. Luffy cocked his arm back. Gum Gum Pistol. Of course you'd start with that move. I jumped, landing on his outstretched arm in a Kuro-like fashion. I'm faster than Kuro, idiot. Let's go, come with something new. Get creative. Luffy responded to that by throwing out another Gum Gum Pistol. This time, while in the process of dodging, I vanished behind him and aimed a punch at his back. What, I'm not fighting this man head on, I'm using all of my abilities for this. If I didn't use my abilities, I'd lose quickly. Luffy ducked low. Gum Gum Whip. He shouted, aiming for my legs. I jumped up, grabbed his leg and threw him across the clearing with all my strength. Thanks to his devil fruit immunity, he recovered quickly and sent another Gum Gum Pistol. I dodged it gracefully just for him to send out another. At this point it was getting pretty stupid. I ran forward and slid under his arm and connected with a powerful uppercut. While he was in the air, I vanished above him and knocked him back into the ground. He stood up with barely a scratch on him. You're fast, but none of your attacks will work on me. This may be the hardest fight I've ever fought, but it's kind of disappointing when you can't do any real damage. It seems you forgot, I have a few attacks that can pierce your rubber skin. I knew one day we'd fight over something, but I thought it'd be much later on. I wasn't planning on facing the captain so early, I would prefer to not do it. I told him honestly. Then how about you give up? He said seriously. Sorry, but this is a battle of ideals. If you win this fight, then we won't kill. It's pretty simple, you know. There's something wrong with you, I'll fix it and bring back the real J. Luffy declared. The real J? I am the real J, there's no one for you to bring back. I rushed forward ready to attack once more. We'll see about that. Luffy, being somewhat of a street brawler, decided everything around is a weapon. He suddenly had an idea, use the rubble from the building. That's how I was suddenly being pelted with pieces of rubble and being pushed back. Just then a piece the size of a small ship came flying at me. Being unable to dodge, I tried to power through it but was knocked to the floor. What kind of bullshit is this? Fight me man to man. I shouted at him. Luffy stared at me confused. That's dumb, you can teleport and use a lot of attacks. Why would I fight you fairly? I mean, have some common sense. Oh hell no. I yelled. I did not just get called dumb by the king of protagonist intellect. I rushed forward and vanished behind him, but he was ready this time. He sent out a Gum Gum Whip and knocked me to the ground. He rushed forward to finish the job and knock me out. However, I recovered quickly and sent a kick to his face. His head stretched back. Gum Gum Bell. He shouted. I dodged to the side and threw a rubber ball forward. I let my energy influence it. Spikes grew from the ball as it turned to iron. It struck him, sticking to his body. When he pulled it out, blood began to spill from the wound. That rubber defense of yours won't hold up forever. I told him as I called back the ball. Gum Gum Net. Luffy shouted as I was covered in the rubber. He threw me to the ground and jumped up. Gum Gum Stamp. The attack knocked the breath from my lungs. As I was struggling to get out the way, he connected with a Gum Gum Gatling. Dust was kicked up as it circled us. When it cleared, I lay on the floor breathing heavily. "Are you done?" Luffy asked. I shakily stood up. "Nah, I still haven't used it yet." Wraith Fist. I vanished into a punch, hitting him in his stomach. Instead of being stretched or sending him flying, he fell to the ground holding his stomach. Ow! That hurt. How? My Wraith Fist ability attacks the spirit directly, in other words your rubber skin won't work the same against this. I then kicked him across the clearing. I rushed forward and started pummeling Luffy with punches. With each punch Luffy was weakening. After another roundhouse kick to the stomach, Luffy laid on the floor unmoving. "So I'll count this as my win?" I asked. Luffy shakily stood up, the look in his eyes had changed. "I will become the Pirate King, I can't give up on my ideal crew, I will not compromise, I will not let you lead this crew." Damn it! I forgot he was the MC in the version of One Piece that I watched. This fucking plot armor is bullshit. I tried to deliver more attacks but nothing was working, his determination had kicked into overdrive. This was the true Luffy, the one that would get up and keep fighting no matter what. After a brief clash, both of us were sent across the clearing. Luffy connected with a gum-gum whip sending me into a wall. He stretched both his arms back as he ran forward. Gum-gum. I tried to move away but my legs gave out. Fine then, I'll just have to use my final resort. As he drew closer, I brought out a small red ball with a clown insignia on it. Rocket. His palms made contact, I flew across the clearing as the sound of an explosion could be heard. A few seconds later I had fully passed out. An hour later I awoke to a smiling but injured Luffy. Our wounds had been taken care of by Kaya. "What the hell happened?" I asked her. "Luffy won the fight you and him had, the explosion didn't defeat him. You lost," she explained. I nodded. "So what happened to everyone's mindset? We're going back to no killing, right?" At that point Kuragari stepped forward. "Actually, according to a valuable source, your devil fruit had begun to influence you and the others. It didn't affect me because it was more of a spiritual attack, which we're immune to. There's a sort of fear factor to your fruit, you gain more power the more people fear you. However, it caused you to go crazy in the heat of battle. No wonder I feel so different now, I guess he really did beat it out of me." "Well then Luffy, I concede, you will be the future Pirate King and I will help you get there as your co-captain. Thank you for this experience. Now I know what I need to do, next I must strengthen my will, I can't be beaten like that again," I said to Luffy before getting up and walking out the house. "Shish ishi." I heard Luffy laugh. "Thanks Jay, I'll be sure to not let you down. You start slacking off as captain and this might happen again. I'll make sure to keep the members in check, just don't lose your path again." Apparently while I was passed out the party began, we were now 3 days into it. Johnny had to leave early in order to turn in the bounty of Arlong. Something about how his captain would be mad if he didn't make some money during what was basically a vacation. After Kaya finally released me from the prison that was Nojiko's bed, I was finally able to enjoy myself at the party. The villagers who had feared me just a couple days ago were now partying alongside me, we shared drinks, food, and stories. In explaining that not all pirates were bad, the topic of good pirates was brought up. I was showing pictures of all the good pirates I knew, but when I came to the picture of Ace, Nojiko took particular interest in it. "Jay, who is he? He never really seemed pirate-like." "Oh him. This is Fire Fist Ace, Luffy's brother, and a man who's quite literally made of fire. He's the commander of Whitebeard's second fleet. If he had been here he would have wiped out Arlong's crew in one attack," I explained. "He's pretty cute," one of the girls said. "Does he have a girlfriend?" "Huh?" Nojiko shouted. I pressed forward. "Nah, from what I can tell, Whitebeard doesn't allow women on his crew thanks to his own set of morals." Unless Ace got with one of Whitebeard's nurses, there's no way he would have won. However, if you girls are interested, you're gonna have to gain some real power. You'll have to be much stronger than I am now, otherwise you'll never get the chance. Back with Luffy. He had left the party in search of Genzo. He wanted to make sure he was alright after what happened the other day. After a bit of walking, he ended up on a hill overlooking the ocean. There Genzo sat, a cross placed in the ground in front of him. This was the place where Nami's adoptive mother had died. Luffy has remained silent. With Jay joining the crew, he had gained at least a small sense of the right time and place. It was clear that Genzo was like a father to the two sisters. He waited patiently for him to finish. Straw Hat Luffy, right? Genzo asked. He stood and turned, facing Luffy with a serious expression on his face. I've heard that Nami has decided to be your navigator. You're going on a long adventure, correct? Yeah. Luffy smiled. Then listen to what I'm about to say. I can tell she's able to take care of herself now, but if I hear that she's hurt, I will send our strongest fighter after her and kill those responsible. Keep her safe, do you understand? Of course. Luffy's smile grew. Nami's my friend and my navigator. As long as I live, I won't let any harm come to her. Genzo smiled back. Then I'll give you my blessing, take care of her for me. Trust me. I'll accomplish my dreams and become Pirate King. We won't let any of our crewmates die. Well, I guess other than the ones that come back, anyways we'll see the One Piece together. Luffy turned and ran back to join the party. That boy is going places. As long as the bounty hunter that came here long ago isn't gunning for him, he'll make it far as a pirate. Genzo sat back down and gazed out at the open ocean. However, as pirates we went ahead and took everything Arlong owned. With all the taxation and valuables we had obtained roughly 500 million berries. The next day the crew had stocked the Mary full of valuables, according to the spirit herself, any more and she'd be too weighed down to sail. The villages were left with the 100 million that Nami built up. Momo had joined us shortly to help pull the ship along. Luckily Nami's tree still didn't push the limits of what Mary could carry, however it was becoming quite clear that we had to obtain something to carry things and fast. At that moment Nami boarded the ship. She turned to the villagers and said her goodbyes. She thought of taking their money but they would need it. At the moment she had a pretty good amount, it would likely last her a couple months. Now realistically it could have lasted for years, but with Luffy's eating habits they had to buy a lot more food. Alright everyone. I called. It's time we head to the Grand Line. Isn't that right Luffy? Yeah. Writer vs J. Writer, the Arlong arc has officially finished. Arlong was defeated and taken in by Johnny. The Straw Hats made a fortune from the taxation. J. You still haven't explained why he has that much money. Writer, well, selling the items will bring in a lot. Not only that, he taxes the adults 100,000 and the children 50,000 berries. There's multiple villages here, maybe 40 adults and about 20 children at the very least. That's 5 million a month, which is 60 million a year. Times that by 8 and you get 480 million over the course of that time. Add the amount of money Nami attained and you get 630 million. Leave 100 mil for the town and you still have 500 million. 100 million went to me after Nami paid me back, 200 million for Nami and 200 for the crew to share. J. Yeah, a math lecture at the end of the story, that's great. Writer, you asked, you know, obviously paying for food and all that was a thing too, but hey Arlong, just be rich. Money won't be a problem going forward. There's one important event that this will be used for. J. Next time, Loketown Frenzy. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, subscribe to my channel for more fan fictions like this, and goodbye.